folks, to another, who knows what we're talking about today. Let me tell you what I just did. We have barbecue for supper tonight. We said we wasn't even going to talk about food. Here we go. I just fed the dog a pickle. That joker ate that thing up.
Winston will eat anything, any kind of like vegetable, carrots, eating carrots.
He loves broccoli and carrots,
broccoli.
Yes.
But what is, you can't give him raisins. Is it grapes?
Maybe.
I looked at it
know.
one time. We don't give them just anything out of the ordinary. No,
Anyway.
we give them what we know we can, because the other stuff's kind of...
That joker ate a pickle. Now he's doing circles. I think the pickle done something to him.
I don't know. We gotta...
What in the world?
No, he's just trying to get comfortable.
All right. Welcome back, folks.
So when we first started this, just a second ago, we've been sitting in here for a few minutes with this recorder on, and so when we get to record and I hit the record button, and about 5 seconds into it, it dies, the batteries are dead, all that stuff. So started off good.
So here we go.
I saw 2 things this week. One I didn't tell. Well, I didn't tell either one of them. One, I had another police encounter. Don't look at me like that. So it was, I guess, 4:30, about 4:30 in the morning, because you know I get up early and all that stuff. And I see blue lights way behind me. I'm talking way behind me. And I'm like, So I'm mentally preparing myself in case I'm getting, pulled over. So I check, make sure my wallet's in the truck, all that stuff, and I'm just kind of whatever. So he comes up quick and gets on, well, not on my bumper, but he's close. So there's nowhere that I can pull off onto the right side. And I just expect him, if he wasn't pulling me over, everything that I've known, that they just go around you, right? Because there's no traffic. So I just slow down and then finally find a spot on the right side and I creep over into it. And when I get over it, he just booms on past me. And so now I have a hard time getting back out. But I was like, why did he not just go around me?
It was a double line. He can't cross a double line.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then the other one, it's another issue with a state trooper that I saw this week. It's a 3-lane road, or it's a highway. You got 2 lanes and then you got a turning lane, right? So you got 3 lanes. So we're at the red light. The state trooper gets in the turning lane. It's on, of course, the left-hand side of the 3 lanes. We've all got red lights. He sits there. Then all of a sudden, he just pulls out, does a U-turn, and once he does that U-turn going the opposite way, does an immediate right and pulls into a fast food restaurant and gets in the drive-thru line.
No way.
So my question...
Citizens arrest. Citizens arrest.
So my question is, if I was behind him and I did the same thing, would he be okay with it? That's all I'm saying. I just thought that was strange.
That is strange.
Yeah, I can't believe he did that, but would you say to each their own?
Yeah.
Okay. So busy day today.
I didn't have a busy day.
I did.
I had a good day.
We're recording on a Saturday. We normally don't record on Saturdays, but I normally don't have to work on Saturdays, but I had to get up early and work this morning, so it's been a long day for me. But I did something yesterday that I never thought that I'd do. A while back, I had issues with a chainsaw, all right?
I'm taking your man card for this one.
Well, that's what I was going to get into. I worked on it. I'd put like a new carburetor on it. You know what a carburetor is?
I do know what a carburetor is.
Okay.
My dad was a mechanic.
That's right. Did you ever help him?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like handing tools, or did you have to?
Yeah, I'd take a motor out and everything.
Oh, okay.
You got to put it up in them big old chains, wrap it around, pull that motor out of there.
That's right.
Old school.
So anyway, I attempted everything pretty much, except I didn't take it to somebody to fix it. Did you know that it is hard to find what I call a real chainsaw that runs on gas and oil? You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay. So yesterday...
Because that's the only thing I thought they were.
Right. Well, me too. So yesterday, I felt like I had turned in my man card, because when I made a purchase, I bought a battery-powered chainsaw.
Why'd you do that?
There, I said it.
Why did you do that? Man card, leave it at the door. Get out.
Because I cannot find one. First of all, the depot, I'm just going to call it that, they didn't have any gas and oil operated chainsaws. All they had was battery operated ones. So everywhere else, the only other place that I found them, they're like $500. So I'm like, I'm not spending $500. But I'm not going to say that these are cheap either. But this thing, let me tell you, it's a sure enough good one.
Sure enough good one.
Yeah. It's a DeWalt, Say it with me.
Sure enough good
one. No, DeWalt. Say it with me.
DeWalt.
I love DeWalt products.
I don't know how you got on that. First it was Ryobi, then that wasn't good enough.
Well, no.
Then you had to go to the DeWalt. And now that's all I hear.
Ryobi's a good product for just stuff.
Oh, you graduated from Ryobi, right?
That's right. Right.
You had to get used to the tools and see what you needed. Then you graduated from that and went to DeWalt, to the man tool.
That's right. I call DeWalt.
The man brand.
DeWalt is the standard. That's what I'd say. But then you got like a brand like Milwaukee, which is more expensive, and I'm not going to go. I'm happy with
Milwaukee.
DeWalt. Yeah.
I never heard of Milwaukee.
It's
except for the
tools.
alcohol.
It's tools. But anyway, so I used it today, and I was shocked at how good it was. I really am. So I'm impressed.
I'm glad.
And I never would have thought it'd been, this good, but I was happy with it. So I'm just going to throw it. So guys, I always thought that, and the thing was, you like.
Next thing you know, we'll be having a dang battery-powered lawnmower.
Yeah. But the thing about it, just like a car, these battery-operated cars and all that, electric cars, everybody likes the sound, or most guys likes the sound of like a hot rod or a truck or anything like that, and you don't have that. So just like this chainsaw, you don't have any loudness, and that's what I miss about it. That's weird. Yeah, I feel weak when I'm using it. Like I have to look around over my shoulder and make sure nobody's seeing me use it. But no, I'm really happy with it. Now, it might break down tomorrow, but anyway, so that's my chainsaw story. So that's what I did after I got off work. I used it for a while.
And I just shopped today, had some gift cards, won a gift card, got gift cards for Christmas, used those.
I can't believe you hung on to a gift card. Is that unusual to hang on to a gift card this long? Because I think if I would get gift cards, well, I'll take that back.
Well, I couldn't find nothing I wanted, and it's kind of in between seasons, so I'm like, I think I just want to wait till the spring and summer stuff comes out. So,
well, that makes sense. I guess if you're just not wanting to go and just splurge and buy anything, if you're just particularly waiting on something, that's a smart thing to do.
I knew I probably wanted summer stuff, so that's what I did. Had a what's called spring fling with Red Aspen. Saw some new products coming out tonight. I mean, they don't come out tonight. I got to see them, and I got some of them. So
how often?
It's pretty cool.
Does this Red Aspen thing? They come out with new nails
every week.
Press on nails
every week, every Tuesday.
So when we say new, are you talking about like a different design, a color, or style, or what?
Yep, all of the above.
We'll explain like next week. What could it be? Is it just going to be? Is it basically a color? We've got a different color scheme.
Color or design, shape. Sometimes they're different shapes.
Well, design is that to me? That's still kind of color. But what do you mean?
Like that?
Like a point?
Like these are almonds, not point. He calls these my daggers.
Well, that's exactly. I don't like those. I like the. You don't even call them rounded, I guess, tips, but those are...
They're almond.
Those, you could dip that in ink and you could write.
No, you can't.
It is. Yes.
They're good scratchers.
Yeah.
I love them to scratch your head.
You poked me with it. And
I did poke you with it.
I did, and I threatened to pop them off, too. And then you threatened me, so we let it go.
That's right.
Got in a threatened match.
All right.
Are you ready for this eclipse? There is some, a lot of talk about it.
There was a guy on the news this morning that actually had his retina burned when he was a kid from looking at it.
So he didn't have an adult around, I guess?
I guess not.
I can remember being really young at my grandparents' lake house. And I can remember my dad being there. I think he was doing some work or something. And I remember there was an eclipse one time, and we got two. They gave me two little, it looked like Post-it note pieces of paper. Well, I don't remember hardly anything of my childhood, but I do remember this. Anyway, so they put a pinhole in the top piece of paper, and then the bottom one was just flat. Anyway, you just held them like 4 inches apart, and you could see the.
You did that. You came to work and did that the last time we had an eclipse.
What do they say? Is that 2017, I think, is the last eclipse that we had?
Maybe, I don't remember.
Solar eclipse.
They also on the news showed how you could make a box and you could see the eclipse through that box. It was really cool.
It's kind of the image that I'm talking about that I saw.
Yeah, I think so.
In a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah. But, I mean, we're not going to see it because it's going to be cloudy.
Is it really?
Yeah, they said clouds.
How about that?
How about that?
But you got people that will travel up to, they've rented out, they've sold out all these. If you're in the estate that you're in the path of the eclipse that day, all the hotels and stuff like that have sold out. On the last one in 2017, I know people that went up to Tennessee. I think it was Tennessee. Was it Tennessee? Or Texas?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Anyway, so if you go to Tennessee this time, or basically Arkansas, and then Northeast. But yeah, I just keep hearing people. I don't want to miss it. I've got an eye appointment at 3 o'clock, and I think 2 o'clock's when you're supposed to be able to see it. So I'll be cutting it
You'll be cutting it close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lose any sleep, but I mean, if it's happening, I'd like to see it.
You're going to walk outside with your eyes dilated, and you're going to go down.
It's really neat to see all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you throw what'd they have?
That's funny. You're having an eye appointment on the solar eclipse day.
So if I was sitting in the chair and they're about
That's funny to me.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd let them dilate my eyes if 15 minutes from then if we're going to have the eclipse and I could see it. I'd be like, hold up now. Let me
walk outside a minute and then you come back in.
And do you think, depending on where you're located, when it's the exact time that you're supposed to look at it, do you think you're going to if you're driving, you're going to see people coming out of their houses or coming out of the places they work?
That's only in the movies, honey.
Yeah. Well, I know. Well, I guess it's not like an asteroid coming down, right? But between that and what they just had an earthquake 2 or 3 days ago up in, Connecticut? Maine? Where?
Was it Connecticut?
I think that's what I have not watched any TV. I'm just going by what you told me.
My Red Aspen friend, she was in it. This was a 4.8.
You have all these connections.
I do. I have Texas. I have Connecticut. I have...
It sounds like this podcast, the listeners we have, all these states.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Social media is good sometimes because you do make connections with other people. So, I mean...
I think social media is an easy way for people to just be mean.
That's also true.
It's
and all the creeps come out because what have I been sending you this week that I've been getting?
But go back to the mean tweets and the stuff like that. It's like if 99% of these people, if they were face to face with this person, they would not say anything or do anything mean. But you get them in the confines of their own home with this little black box we call a cell phone, and they can just say and do whatever they want to do. They're Mr. and Miss Tough Guy. So.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't know.
Should you that earthquake, she said the whole house, her whole house shook.
I don't,
4.8. So I think that's pretty.
The only thing
bad, maybe bad, but it's bad enough.
There was, I guess it's about 12 years ago. There was a gas explosion, and it happened about 200 to 300 yards from where I was at.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, and I was talking to a guy, and we were in a grocery store. I was talking to the owner, and we were just propped up, and it was the loudest, weirdest sound, and it shook everything. I have no idea, of course, what an earthquake feels like, and I know this is nothing like that. But I just know on this, if you've ever watched Mythbusters, and they blow up like the big cement truck, and, when down there in that rock quarry.
That's a good show that's not on anymore.
Yeah. If you remember or go to it, when it blows up, it goes, pew, like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what this explosion sounded like. But it rocked this building, and signs from the ceiling, started falling and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, what it was
so you can't imagine an earthquake.
I know. But there was a gas leak at this guy's house. And the house blew up. It killed the guy and his dog or dogs. And I think it was 3, at least 2, but I thought it was 3 gas company guys that was there. And luckily they were down in the hole or digging, or they were just to the point of where they didn't get a direct hit from it, but they survived. But you talk about, that was scary for me, and I wasn't right there at it. But
that's crazy.
I couldn't imagine an earthquake. The worst one I remember was San Francisco. I guess it was in the 90s, 89, 90, 91, somewhere right there, I think.
I don't know. I was a young one.
Yeah, I was watching baseball. I do remember that. It might have been the World Series. And when it hit, do you remember they had the interstate or the highways that were on top of each other? Do you remember that?
No clue.
Okay. Well, you had a road. Imagine like a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then right above it, there's another bridge, and you got cars going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was. Well, the earthquake caused the top road to pancake and fall on top of the road below, and it was just, it was terrible. And then Washington got hit a few years ago too, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember the Washington Monument had a crack in it, or it was closed down for like a year. You couldn't get all this kind of stuff. Just all over the place right now, ain't it?
Weather's crazy right now.
Well, you've got too, the earthquake happening, and then they're, they start when you go back to Israel and everything that's going on. Then you got this eclipse, and they're talking about the end times and what Revelation says. Some people can get really riled up real quick and they can look into things. They can read into things that's not really there and really think that it's the end time. Well, we're getting closer to the end every day.
Every day.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't quite go out there and start putting all these puzzle pieces together and say, hey, it's happening. Here's the sign.
Okay, well, enough about all that. Well, since we're, I think, going on our 9th episode, and we really haven't introduced ourselves, like told you much about us, or, just kind of what we've done growing up. And I feel like we've grown up together, actually, because I was 18 when we got married.
You were how old when we met, though?
16, almost 17, right?
I like the 17 better than
Okay.
16.
Okay, we'll say 17.
So I was 21.
So we just want to take a minute and just, this episode's going to be more about just us in our younger years and growing up together and just telling you a little bit about us. So yeah, I think I was probably 17 or about to turn 17.
I mean, to be truthful, you were 16.
Yeah.
You weren't 17 yet.
Yeah. So, Jody was 21 and, we were set up on a blind date. And so, I'll tell it the way I remember it. I'm sure it's not right. So we were set up on a blind date by friends that were dating or whatever. And we were supposed to meet at this place called the Bow Shop. And that's...
You tell the
about the
shop
Bow
was
Shop.
I hunted back then and had a good friend that had an archery shop, and he was actually a state champion archer. He was, he had endorsements from Easton Ayers and Martin. Anyway,
I still follow him on Facebook. He's the jeweler now. Like he does.
Well, yeah,
he was that too back then, right?
He was a jeweler. He's very good at. He's just very good at. He's one of those people that's good at whatever. Anyway, so he had a bow shop, and the back part of it was where he lived at, and so that's for a while. That's where I stayed a lot of the time. Of course, I didn't spend the night, but I'm thinking that's where I hung out a lot of the time. You go ahead.
So that first night we were supposed to meet. Well, we did meet, and then we were going over to the Birmingham State Fair.
This was the date that we just didn't meet. But we
didn't just meet. It was the date, so it was the blind date. Like we had never met each other before. So here we are, gonna meet, gonna go eat, and gonna go to the fair. Which, why would we eat and then go to the fair? Now, if you think about it, that makes no sense. But anyway, I think
probably to save money.
Probably,
because I'm sure it was expensive at the fair.
So yeah, we go to the fair, but we were gonna go to this restaurant and it was closed. But I don't remember going to the fair. I don't remember about the fair.
I remember being there, but I don't really remember.
I don't remember like riding
anything, whatever.
I don't either.
Seems like I got you like a teddy bear or something, but I don't know if that's factually correct.
I don't know.
I would like to say I won you something, but I don't think I did.
Yeah, we can't confirm or deny that one.
No. We'll just throw that out there.
So yeah, that's how we met. How many years ago?
So
that would be...
We'll be married in September, 27 years.
26.
27.
27. You sure?
Oh my goodness, she's got to get
I got to get the
calendar calculator out. I'm just praying I'm right.
26.
We're in 26.
Yeah. We'll be married 26 this
No,
year.
we are in the 26th year. We will be hitting 27.
I took 2024 minus 1998. 26.
Put in Google.
I really think we're just in 26. Anyways.
Hey, you go ahead. Let me look this up myself.
Okay. Anyway, so we've been married 26 or 27 years, but we've been together. So you put 2 years on that. So we've been married longer than I wasn't married. I feel like we really just grew up together. It's a fun ride. It's been a fun ride. He's over there trying to calculate it. Y'all hear his little calculator?
Well, it was
going?
9,324 days ago. It says 26 years ago.
Yeah.
We'll be going, and we're going into our 27th. Anyway. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out. Oh my
We'll
goodness.
be married 26 this year.
We'll edit this again.
We ain't editing nothing.
We've only edited one time, and I talked about it during that episode. It was pretty funny because we just had an issue.
I'm gonna knock you out again.
I had an issue about that.
You are an issue. How about we get back to the story?
You go right ahead.
I don't really know where it's going.
So you were young.
I was young.
I did not plan on getting married.
It was close to prom season because I remember, we hadn't been talking long, and I wanted you to go to prom with me so bad. But I do remember coming back from that date. Hold on, let me back up. I do remember coming back from that date and going to school the next day. No, not the next day, 2 days later, because that was a Saturday. Going back to school and saying, I'm going to marry him. He's the one. I'm going to marry him. And that was the furthest thing from Jody's mind. He probably wasn't even thinking I'm going to see her again.
I had I would say a bad issue.
Yeah, you had an issue. Yeah.
that I just got out of just very, within
A week?
Yeah, or days.
Or days.
So I was like, when me and you went out, I had not planned on going. I was done.
Yep.
I was not going out. I was not, and for whatever reason, within a few days, I'm going out on a blind date because one of my good friends.
Little did he know I was stuck to him. I stuck around.
That's right. Yeah, and then
we went to prom.
Yeah, I didn't even go to my prom when I went to school.
I just knew he wouldn't go, but he did. And this is what he shows up in. So my dress, I actually think we still had the picture. I could post it. My dress was a black and white dress, and he shows up in. Okay, so back then he rodeoed. Him and some guys, they rodeoed, like rode bulls and stuff like that. So he shows up in cowboy boots, Wranglers, and the top of a suit.
Yeah, I wore a tux, just not the bottom.
Yeah, you wore the tux top. Yeah. With Wranglers and boots. And I'm like,
well,
really?
My good friend.
He did the same thing.
He did the same thing.
I know. And then.
I mean, we didn't start this trend, I'm sure. It was just something.
Was that the year was that the one? Yeah, because senior year we done a limo. So they also come in this big truck.
So we had like a
big truck,
sure enough jacked up truck. Yeah,
like I'm
tires.
short.
Yeah.
I know everybody don't know, but I'm like 4'11", and I'm in this dress, and I'm like, how in the world am I going to get in this truck? Needless to say, Jody brought a stool. Needless to say, we have stools all in our house now. So that was our first stool.
We should have kept that stool.
We should have kept that stool.
Because I didn't know it was going to lead to more stools. I mean, seriously, Amanda, you're 4'11"?
4'11".
She's 4'11".
But I can pack a punch, buddy.
I didn't say you couldn't. If something's on the top shelf, you have
I'm
issues.
A bottle of fire.
Yeah. So we
Spitfire.
have a stool here and there throughout the house. I actually bought her a stool for a Christmas present one time. That wasn't the only thing that I got you, but that was,
no, but that was
just a funny little thing.
So I guess that started the stool saga.
I might have used the stool myself to get up in that truck.
You might have, because
pretty-
that thing. So then they take us to Taco Bell. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We're really just going to Taco Bell? No, we didn't go to Taco Bell. I forget where we went, but we didn't
I was
going to
say,
Bell.
I do not remember that at all. If we
Yeah,
went to-
y'all took us to Taco Bell.
We didn't go out to eat at a nice place?
Yeah, then y'all are like, no, we're just kidding. And we went. I
Okay.
can't remember. It was dark where we went because I don't think any of us could see the menu thing.
Yeah.
I do remember it being dark.
Anyway, speed up this prom
Okay,
thing.
anyway, yeah, we can't go through
if you're
all that.
telling the life, then, we've got several hours to go.
No. So we go to prom. We date.
6 months.
Yeah. 6 months. Yeah. I guess that's about right.
And then I asked you.
And then he pops the question.
Yeah. Which is crazy just because 6 months and 2 days before that, I was like,
He was like,
not
done.
going to ever be involved with
He wasn't going to do nothing.
No.
Yep.
And
Then he actually asked me twice.
why would that be?
Because the first time he asked me,
Because I have never told this story to anyone.
and I tell it all the time because I
But
love it.
I don't like the story.
I love it. I
Yeah.
just think it's the sweetest little
Well, you
thing.
go right ahead.
So the first time he asked me, my ring was not even put together. So he picked out the diamond and he picked out the band that it goes in, or the setting, whatever. And it wasn't even together. And the day he wanted to ask, I think we were going out to eat anyway. Like we were going, our thing back then was Red Lobster. Like we liked Red Lobster. And so we had to go do some other stuff. We got back from eating and we had to go feed some animals for somebody. And so he finally, I guess he worked up the courage and asked me there. And when he done it, I had a ring and I had a diamond. So he had proposed and I can't even wear the ring because I had a ring and I had a diamond. But he just said he just couldn't wait anymore. He said he just couldn't hold it.
Yeah, the jeweler couldn't.
He wasn't there.
Yeah,
or something.
it was something like that. And so I just waited to the last. Or I guess I decided that, hey, I'm gonna do this, and didn't want to wait. I guess I couldn't really hold. I don't think I could have got it and just waited anyway.
Yeah.
But I was like, probably in my mind, I'm thinking I can get the ring and do it all in one day, and probably for the most part you can do that. But it didn't work out for me.
Didn't work out for you, did it?
Yeah. So once I got it, I was like, I can't hold on to this thing. I gotta go.
So I just had
this.
the box.
Yeah, you had
For-
a dismantled ring in a box.
Yeah.
And so
Just a couple of days.
yeah, so then when I did get it put together.
What did you do when you got it put together? Do you remember?
What do you mean?
Do you remember?
Did it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Mm.
Uh-oh. He's going to fail this test.
Well, the most important one was the first time,
Okay.
right?
Well, I guess so.
I'm just holding back. I want you to tell the story.
Nah, you're not holding back. You just don't know the story.
I do know it. I just want to see if you remember it the way I remember it.
Oh, I know
Go ahead.
exactly.
All right, go ahead.
I was at the band room at high school, and you come back to school, and you proposed again with the ring.
This sounds so terrible. It sounds like I'm just robbing the cradle.
Well, I can't help it.
So anyway, so you eventually, maybe a few months after that, you moved out. Just had something happen and had you move in with my parents. And the
Yeah.
only reason we did this is because I was working nights at the time, so I wasn't going to be there at night.
Right.
All right, and so when
Yeah.
I would get there, you were already gone
I was
to
already
school.
gone to school.
So it just worked out that we never saw each other. So, it was not an issue that we saw that you living with us
Yeah.
because...
And then I graduate. We go to another prom. I graduate. I can't talk. Let's see. I had a good job. I worked at the bank. You had a job, and
yeah, my grandmother, we're very blessed
yes,
that
Yes.
offered us to, move into their lake house. And so, yeah,
that's where we've been for 26 years.
that's right. So, yeah, we're very fortunate, very blessed. And I will tell you this, too. When it comes to being a Christian, I was not a Christian. my whole life until I was around 33. So during this whole time, probably when I was, maybe when I was 16, I started partying a little bit. And then in my 18s and 19s and in my 20s, my 21 or something like that, I partied it up. I went to, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't care. Because people need to know. So.
It's your testimony.
That's right. And so, went to college, went to a small college, and got put on academic probation. I didn't have a direction, I didn't know where I was going. I was just like day to day. I had a job. At that time, I'd made all right money. For me, it was fine. And this was before I met Amanda, right before I met her. But started just doing more partying than anything, and got academic probation. Didn't bother me a bit because in my mind, I really didn't know why I was at college. I was just at college because that's what everybody did. All right, and so met Amanda. My biggest thing was just drinking.
Yeah.
I just drank.
And that was my one stipulation. I would not put up with that.
But I never
not like that.
I was not violent.
No.
I was not. You could probably, if you'd have met me, you'd have never known that I had been
That's
drinking.
True.
But I always
That's
drank,
true.
and it just got progressively worse and worse, until the point where I had started actually drinking during the daytime, and even some mornings and stuff like that, and just got. Anyway, long story short, I ended up on the side of the road praying to God for help. And that's where I got saved right there. I went into, I called Amanda, and I'm not going to go into this whole story, but went to a detox program, was in there for just a few days.
I think it was a week.
Was it that long?
Yeah. That was the worst thing ever.
You and me both.
They just closed the doors, and I knew nothing. And they just separated us. That's probably the first time we've ever been separated like that.
Right, and it's a very. I'll put it this way: the whole time you're there is they basically are making you as high or higher than you were before you got there. And you are medicated.
Yeah, they medicate
I
you.
remember being woke up every night with a little bitty cup, plastic cup, and it having like 4 or 5 pills in there, and they were medicating us. And then at one point they were talking about me going to a alcoholic program called Bradford, and all this kind of stuff. And then next thing I know, they're putting paperwork in front of me to sign, and
he had to sign this. I couldn't do any of it.
And I'm like, whoa, what is? Because I never agreed to anything.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
didn't know anything.
And they told me, yes, you did, and maybe I did at some point when they had me, loopy, but I know I did. There's no way I did, because I remember talking with them about all this, and I just would not agree to it. So from when that happened right there, I got very frustrated and told them I wanted out. Call my wife, I'll call whatever, somebody come get me and get me out of this place. Because this just was not gonna, and I was just gonna deal with it on my own. And they did not want me to do that. They thought that would be the worst thing for me. But, I was in there with, it was a bad situation. I put it like, I wouldn't want anybody to go through what I went through. But I would say this too, I was put in a position that it all worked out. The Lord helped me through the whole thing. He made me see two sides of the side that I was on, what road I was going down. And of course, it's my decision, but he allowed me to see, how far my life, I might think I'm in control and had it, handled. And maybe for the most part, my family did too and didn't really see anything, but deep down inside, it was unraveling and unraveling quick. So, came home.
Cold turkey. You laid it down. I had to go through the house. I poured out everything, got rid of everything. Even had a building that had stuff in it. I had to go get rid of it. That was
so
probably...
I probably didn't drive for a month.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't... I wouldn't let you go anywhere by yourself. We were not owners of a store, but the management of a store, just me and you. And
and another thing, I put Amanda in a bad situation because I was running this store, opening and closing, and I think too that was part of what ended up doing me in was I was just putting in so many hours trying to make this business work because I was thinking of the future. I was like, if I can get this to work, I mean, this will be great for the family. And just in the process, I was just falling apart. But so when I went to detox, I put her in a very bad situation to where now, instead of it's me and her, and say I did majority of the responsibilities, knew how things operated. And then now I'm out of the picture and it's all dependent on her. I did. It was just bad for me to do that to her.
But the Lord got us through it.
That's right. And
look at us now.
I know.
I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. So the biggest thing I had was I had to stay busy.
Yeah.
I didn't ever really sit down. I just felt like, I know I've heard that smokers, when they quit smoking, they had the habit of reaching for their front pocket, for that pack of cigarettes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I just felt like if I ever stopped, because I associated everything with drinking. If I was at home, I could drink. If I was outside, I could drink. If I went fishing, I could drink. If I went hunting, I could drink. And I hate to say it, if I was driving, I would drink. So I just felt like I just can't sit down. I don't need to sit idle because maybe that would make my mind wander and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying it was by no means easy, but little by little, it just got easier and easier.
You didn't want it.
That's right. Well, I wanted my family. I wanted you and everything else, more than that. So, but I'd been around it all my life. And the same thing with you. I know with your family.
Yeah, that's why I said I would not allow. I wasn't going to be in that mess again. I wasn't going to do it. So yeah.
So God made our marriage stronger, made me stronger. I became a Christian.
Got baptized.
Matter of fact,
on Easter. Yeah.
About 15 years ago, 14 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And never looked back. And now, like I said, we are just so involved with our church, and we try and put everything that will show glory to God first for the most part. That's what we try and do. Now, we fall short all the time.
Always.
I'll fall short every day. But you've got to, try.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. And I think we do a pretty good job. Not a great job, but pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So
that's just a little bit of our story. Just kind of thought maybe y'all would like to know who we are, and not just we get on here and just...
And we have Nicholas.
And we do have Nicholas. We dealt with infertility, and he is our nephew, and we've had him since he was about 5 months old. And so, yeah, the Lord blessed us in that way because we couldn't have kids. So, you just all look back at it now, and you see him everywhere, every step of the way. I know you didn't see it then, and it was hard. That was really hard on me. And it still is, but
I think, Nicholas was such a blessing to us. I'm not going to say landed in our lap or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's like what we had been through, and a great young fella. I always want to say kid, but he's not a kid anymore.
Oh, he'll be 20.
I know he'll be 20.
Good night.
I know.
You're getting old.
Yeah. Dad, his best friend spent the night last night. Best friend stays with us. Well, he used to stay with us a lot more than he does now, but having them two around, it's great. It is. It helps keep you young when you got younger people around you. I couldn't imagine having a daughter. I would have liked to have had a daughter.
Yeah. We'd have been in trouble if we had a daughter.
Oh, my goodness.
We'd have been in trouble.
I'd have never seen y'all. You and her would have been like shopping all the time.
We'd been gone. We'd been out of here.
Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about? I used to take Nicholas everywhere.
Oh, y'all did, y'all.
I took him everywhere, shopping.
And now it's me and him.
And now, that's why he has that shoe fetish.
I wouldn't call it a fetish.
I wouldn't call it a fetish, that's not a good word.
We might change that.
A shoe addiction?
Yeah. But that's all these young boys.
It is.
They
too,
love,
but
it's like these Nikes.
that's all I used to buy him, though, was shoes.
Yeah, these Jordans, not getting
Yeah.
a crease in them, and I don't know how many times I've walked by his room and he's in there cleaning his shoes. And
I
I'm
wished
like,
he'd clean his room
I know, I wish
the way he'd clean his shoes.
Yeah, if he would do everything the way he
Ugh.
treated those shoes, it would be unbelievable.
Anyway,
But I've
so
never-
yeah, that's just a little bit of our story. Just thought y'all might like to know who we are, and maybe I'll put that prom picture out there if Jody will let me. I like it. I think he likes it. It was a pretty good picture. Might not be good quality because, back then we didn't have very good cameras. We had to take the camera take the film to Walmart and have it developed. So,
It's amazing how we've come so far when it comes to 1 hour photo
Right.
and all that.
And we may just snap a selfie and put it out there, two of us today.
You
Never
think?
know.
I'll have to go get dolled up if you want to.
Oh, we'll have to wait on your haircut this week. won't
Yeah,
we?
yeah. Getting a little shaggy.
Anyway. All right. Well, I hope y'all have enjoyed this.
There's no rants on this one.
Yeah, we're not ranting.
And no questions.
And no questions.
And we're not going to talk about Netflix. And we're not going to talk about food.
No.
So this is a serious matter.
We just thought y'all, it'd be nice to know a little bit about the people you're listening to, whether you like us or not or whatever.
And that's the thing. When you see somebody or, say, for instance, hearing us, you don't know our backstory or anything like that. And nobody in their world would ever know,
No.
our past. And, a lot of people like it's none of their business or wants to tell it. But I'm not ashamed
I'm
of
not.
my past because that's what's made me who I am right now.
Yeah.
And
And you got to give God all the glory.
That's right. And if my story and what I went through,
Helps
my
one person.
and I'm not talking about, because you could probably ask Amanda all day long, and she might tell you that I didn't really think there was an issue or anything like that. But I'm just saying, with me, what I was dealing with internally, I know what somebody else is going through.
Yeah.
I've had several conversations with people that's going through the same thing that I went through, and that's what if there's any way that I can help them and tell them what I did, and that's what I want. So, like I said, I am not ashamed of this by no means, because I'm just willing to help whoever I can help. And it's made our marriage stronger, and I love this woman sitting right across from me, even though if I could get her. Just my last little, this is not a rant.
Here we go. Here's his rant. We ain't going to get out of it without a rant.
I'm gonna go with a small percent. If I could get just about 10% more from you when it comes to these podcasts, just 10 more. You did good tonight, but it was a subject that you want to talk about.
Exactly.
You kind of threw it out there like I wasn't really expecting this.
Well, you keep on and you keep on at me. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? Well, I tell you 2 or 3 things, and then you're like, well, what are we going to talk about? And I'm like, I told you what I want to talk about.
You don't really give me any.
I did.
If it's red aspen nails, then yes, you'll talk.
If we can go do TikTok and lives and do
But that's not what this is. So we're not doing that.
But that's what I like. So one day I'll get him on my TikTok live.
Okay.
All right, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this. And if you would, give us a like, a comment, a thumbs up. Follow us on all social media. And we'll catch you next week.
See ya.